بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. This course is about a special topic in artificial intelligence. In the first chapter, we study blockchain database and relationship between blockchain and artificial intelligence. I choose this chapter from this book. Database System Concept 7th edition from Abraham Silberschat, Henry F. Course, S. Sudarshan. In part 9 of the book, in chapter 26, Blockchain Database. First step, we have a brief overview about blockchain, and then we study blockchain property and achieving blockchain property via cryptographic hash function. Then we study consensus algorithm, data management in blockchain, smart contracts, and performance enhancement. Finally, we study emerging application of blockchain database. Blockchain technologies development was driven initially by cryptocurrency. But cryptocurrency is just one application of blockchain, not equal to blockchain. It is one application of blockchain. Cryptocurrency is a purely online currency maintained by a decentralized distributed ledger. A ledger is a book or collection of accounts in which accounting transactions are recorded. Bitcoin. Bitcoin is very popular. One of the first successful cryptocurrency and the best known, published under the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. Aims to be an anonymous, fully distributed and decentralized currency. There are other blockchains that are more appropriate for blockchain-based enterprise data. Cryptocurrency and Bitcoin are the best known, but in recent years, enterprise data are used in blockchains. Type of blockchain. First form of blockchain is public. In public blockchain, anyone can download the needed software and create a blockchain node. No trust assumed among participating nodes. But in permissioned blockchain, permission to run a blockchain node is granted by a permissioning authority. Some degree of relaxation of the assumption of trustlessness and autonomy. The type of blockchain influences the choice of algorithm used by which node agree on the next block to be added to the blockchain. Blockchain property and structure. Blockchain is a linked list of blocks. Each block contains a pointer to the previous block plus a hash of the previous block. Except, of course, for the first block called Genesis block. Another property of blockchain is tamper resistance. The inclusion of the hash of previous block makes tampering difficult. Changing the content of a block means change all newer block as well. Why this sentence is correct? Because each block contains a hash of the previous block. A specific mathematical requirement for the hash function. Replication prevents replacement of the entire blockchain without gaining majority control. We have two types of nodes in blockchain. First is full node. Each full node maintains copy of blockchain and participate in the consensus process. Light node submit update to blockchain but does not participate in the consensus process. Consensus algorithm to choose node to add next block. This is the main function of consensus algorithm, choosing node to add next block into blockchain. There are many types of consensus algorithms. For example, proof of work, proof of stake, Byzantine consensus. In proof of work, first node to solve a certain hard math problem. In proof of stake, node selected based on amount of currency owned or held in reserve. Byzantine consensus is a message-based protocol to reach consensus on next block. There are other approaches for consensus algorithm. For example, proof of activity, proof of burn, proof of capacity, proof of lapse time. Another property of blockchain is fork. A fork occurs if a block is added to a block that is not most recent one. Accidental if consequence of consensus algorithm. One fork survives, others are eventually orphaned. Malicious if due to an attempt to damage blockchain. Consensus based if agreed by majority of users. These are three reasons for forking in blockchain. Consensus-based fork type are hard fork and soft fork. In hard fork, old version of blockchain software does not recognize new blocks as valid. But in soft fork, old version of blockchain software recognized new blocks as valid. In this figure, you see blockchain forks. In soft fork, we have backward compatible updates. But in hard fork, protocol change occurred, a major division. Another property of blockchain is using digital signature. Public key encryption is used to allow users to sign their transaction. Ensure that user cannot deny submitting the transaction, a property called irrefutability. The last property of blockchain is anonymity. User can remain anonymous unless there is a way to tie the user ID or public key to a real-world entity. Summary of blockchain properties is: the first property and important property is decentralization, majority consensus with no central authority. Second property is a tamper resistance, infeasibility of changing the content of blocks on the blockchain. The third is irrefutability, user cannot deny having submitted a transaction. And the last is anonymity, IDs not directly tied to any real world entity.